Good morning, Miss Visaraga.
Good morning.
There's a Reyes.
Yes,
Who?
good morning.
Yes. Who are you?
I'm Reyes Ornamental for Fuentes.
Okay. You're the appellant then. I just asked if the
Oh, I'm
appellant.
sorry. Okay.
That's okay. Okay, so you're here. It looks like we are ready to get started. And it looks like Miss Quintana is here, Patton Quintana. Good morning, folks. My name is Stephen Chavez. I'm the land use hearing officer for the city of Albuquerque. Today's date is September 2nd. My apologies, 2021. We are here on an appeal from the zoning hearing examiner, and this appeal is AC-21-11. And Ms. Reyes is here for the appellant. Ms. Reyes, what is your first name?
My name is Dolores Morales, but I'm with Reyes Sense Construction.
I'm sorry. It states Reyes on the participants list.
Yes, and that's not a problem.
Okay. Is it with a Z or with an S, Mr.
S.
Okay.
With an S.
Got it. Okay, well, let's get started. Let me have you raise your right hand and let me know when it's raised.
It's raised.
Are you in? Okay. Do you affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and only the truth under penalty of perjury?
I do.
Okay. Are you familiar with the rules of these appeal hearings, ma'am?
No, I'm not.
Okay, so it's a record review appeal. You have the right to present witnesses who will testify, but I won't allow witnesses who will testify that have not testified in the previous hearing. Only those witnesses that have testified in the previous hearing I will allow. This is not a second bite at the apple. This is just to determine if the zoning hearing examiner erred in some way under the city IDO. Okay.
Okay.
So I have a lot of questions, and I apologize if I interrupt you during your presentation. I'll give you as much time as you need, but if I don't ask my questions when they come up, I will forget. Okay.
Okay. No worries.
Go ahead.
So basically, just the fencing, the reason I'm confused as to the denial of the variance is because it is on a corner. It's in a corner lot. So Gibson is a high trafficked area and it is a commercial lot. So my understanding, the fencing around there should not be a big issue about being 6 feet tall.
Well, let me interrupt you a moment.
Sure.
It's a big issue because the IDO requires certain criteria that has to be met. And,
Okay.
and just, I'm trying to be very respectful here. It doesn't look like you read the IDO because your application doesn't conform to what's required in the IDO whatsoever. I mean, the application essentially states that the basis of your application is that you believe that the crime in the area is to such an extent that the fencing is necessary. That may be true, but the crime in the area is not a basis to approve a exception under the IDO. It's irrelevant, as a matter of fact. The issues that the ZHE is required to look at are clearly stated in the IDO, and you didn't even go into any of those issues. And so that's why he denied your application.
Okay, so I did on the justification letter explained as why they're wanting to enclose their property. It is going to be a future car lot.
But that's not relevant. See, the criteria for a taller fence than what is allowed is clearly described, and you have to show what special circumstances exist that do not exist with other properties. But let me before I don't want to chastise you because I understand you didn't go over the IDO requirements. I want to let you know also that there is a way you can get the fence that you want without even applying for a variance. Because if you read the IDO, there's a clear process for this zone, and that process. And I'll let you make your presentation. But under the NRC zone, you can have a fence taller than 3 feet if you meet the requirements of the IDO. And the only requirements that you have to meet under section 5-7-1, the table, if you read the footnotes of the table, there's 3 footnotes that are very applicable, and they're very well stated in there. So if your fence is opaque, at least 50% opaque, which it looks like it is, but you have to put your fence set back 5 feet, I believe. If it's set back 5 feet from the property line, you can build a 6-foot fence without a variance. It's a permissive use.
Okay.
So you don't need a variance, but you just have to meet that criteria. You didn't show that criteria in your application. So you didn't. And so it's clear that the zoning hearing examiner's denial, and I read the entire record. It's clear that the denial is the right thing to do. I wish somebody at the zoning and planning would have told you about this. They're literally not exceptions, but this criteria. But it's your duty to find out too and read it and apply under that section. So anyway, go ahead and make your presentation.
But it sums it up on what you're explaining to me. I should really thoroughly read all the way to the end. I didn't. I was just in my mindset was just the circumstances of what the customer was voicing, and I just voiced what they did. But I see where my mistake was.
Sure. Yeah, those circumstances are not sustainable under the variance criteria, specifically under the first prong of the variance criteria, the special circumstance. Because as I said, those special circumstances can't exist for everybody, and they do. They have to only exist for the lot that you're applying for. But I'm going to refer you to page 298 of the IDO. And remember, we're dealing only with the 2019 IDO, but good news is that you can reapply, and you don't have to wait a year because you're not reapplying for a variance. You're applying for a fence under the new IDO, which is the July 2021 IDO. And in the July 2021 IDO, the standards are exactly the same. Under table 571, you go to the NRC zone for non-residential, and it says the wall has to be 3 feet, but then it refers to 3 footnotes. If you go to those footnotes, it says that taller walls can be approved in an NRC zone under section, I think it's 57D3E. And then if you go to section 57D3E, it explains the criteria that's required. You can have a 6-foot fence all the way around as long as you're 5 feet from the boundary line and the fence is 50% opaque, in a perpendicular view. So essentially you can have 3 feet of it hard wall and then the rest opaque. It looks like your fence, as I said, is 100% opaque.
It is.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, I mean, I don't want to stifle your presentation though.
No, I'm good. I thank you for the information.
Okay. So you essentially want to go to the 2021 IDO. The versions change on a regular basis, I think on an annual basis now. And so you would have to apply under the new IDO for a new fence.
Okay, not a problem.
Okay. So is there anything else you want to present in your appeal?
No, this is very clear. Very clear as what you have just stated now. I do thank you for the time. And
okay. Just to be clear, I'm going to recommend to the city council. I don't make decisions. I only make recommendations.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to recommend to the city council that your appeal be denied, and you know what the city council does with it, I don't know. But I'm going to find that the ZHE followed the law correctly. He met the standards, and he denied the application based on those standards because you failed to show essentially that you can meet the first prong of the test for a variance. Okay. And I'll send you a copy of that within 14 days, 15 days or so.
Okay.
And you can take it further to the city council, or you can just, accept it. It's up to you. I want to give, is there anything else you would like to add?
No, I don't.
Okay. Miss Patton Quintana, is there anything you would like to add to the record? I'd have to swear you in first.
No, I have nothing to add. Thank you.
Okay. Do you have any questions about my recommendation to Ms. Morales? I mean, I'm not a planner, but I was reading the criteria, and it seems as though she could meet that criteria with those two requirements. Do you
I
disagree?
believe so, and I appreciate that you did make the recommendation. And 57D3E is now on page 313 of the current version of the IDO. So
Thank you.
it could be there's a little bit of searching required, but it's there. And thank you.
Okay, good. I wanted to make sure I get the right interpretation of that. Okay, great. Well, thank you. This is a short hearing. Is there anything else that anybody would like to add to the record?
I'm good, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so we'll go off the record. Enjoy your day, folks. Enjoy your long weekend. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.